Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living Greater Boston and Facebook Live family. Welcome to our Sunday celebration here on 50 Dudley Street in cold but beautiful Cambridge, Massachusetts. We are a community of love, of peace, of joy, abundance, and we are conscious spiritual seekers. My name is Reverend Ed Tanzi, and I, along with Rev G. Stewart, are the founders and spiritual leaders of this wonderful community of light. At this center, we learn, study, and practice the science of mind, which is the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought, synthesized and founded by Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes. Here, we are radically inclusive and celebrate all paths that lead to the infinite energy or God of one's understanding. It doesn't matter what you call this universal energy. What is important, people, to remember is that this infinite energy exists everywhere, and that we are using this at all times. And how do we use it? With our thoughts, our beliefs, and empowering it with our emotions and feelings. I welcome our Facebook Live community to find out more about the many classes we offer here, our purpose in the world, and how you can support our purpose with your financial gifts. I'd like you to join me now in our invocation. If you feel comfortable, I ask you to close your eyes, go within. Take some gentle but deep breaths, breathing in the love of the divine, of the universal mind, and exhaling all the preciousness of yourself. And as you inhale and exhale this, let go of any thoughts or mind chatter before now. And just be. Be in that consciousness of openness and receptivity to hear the words of the divine this morning through the message. Fully in knowing that there is one infinite intelligence, one creative power, one universal energy that is in, through, and as everything, in the seen and in the unseen. It is all this power. It is all that exists. Its nature is love and peace and joy and abundance and prosperity. It is magnificence. It is compassion. It is that gust of living for the purpose of enjoyment and nurturing and uplifting. And I am one with this power, made in its image and likeness. And I express it in my own unique way. And as that is my truth, that is the truth of everyone here. That is the truth of people on Facebook. That is the truth of everyone in the universe. Each one is one with this universal mind, one with each other, one with all of nature. And this brings about a unity and a wholeness for each individual. And I know that this morning's service brings about, for each listener, for each participant, whatever one needs to deepen their spiritual path here in this vibration called life. I know it is good and very, very good, and I know it is ordained magnificent because it is the divine in expression. Please join me in gratitude by saying together, and so it is. So now I invite Practitioner Vicky to provide us this morning with our spiritual reading.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
So the reading from today comes from Living the Science of Mind, written by Dr. Reverend Ernest Holmes, our founder. And because our topic is the divine feminine, I thought this was apropos. The topic for today, the reading for today is God Talks to the Heart. while we admire the intellect, we must realize that the intellect is not the creative factor in the universe. Rather, it is the feeling that is creative. Cooey said that when imagination and the will are in conflict, the imagination invariably wins. And that suggestion must become auto-suggestion or self-realization before it can become effectual. This is why he coined the phrase, day by day in every way I'm getting better and better, which was to be repeated so rapidly as to break down the self-conscious or intellectual barriers and in a sense hammer through to a self-realization. The real creative power of the mind is deeper than the intellect. It passes into the realm of feeling and acceptance. Yet it is the intellect or the self-conscious faculties that must speak for the word in order that every obstruction may be cleared away. We could coin no better expression than to say that God speaks to the heart through the language of feeling, a feeling which is affirmative. You will frequently find people who have splendid intellects, whose logic is almost perfect, but who seem never to penetrate the deeper mind where the creativity resides. To all treatments, no matter how intellectually or analytically correct they may be, there must be added this depth, this deep feeling and conviction that enable one to communicate with the invisible. As I have so frequently said, the best comparison I can think of is the feeling that an artist has toward beauty. For beauty is an invisible essence, an all-pervading, all-penetrating something that cannot be adequately expressed in words, but only in thoughts. It is an inward emotion of the mind which reaches out until it strikes some corresponding chord emanating from the universe itself. This is what an artist feels. In a sense, he weds himself to the essence of beauty and draws it into his own being until beauty becomes diffused through his technique and makes an imprint that the intellect cannot analyze. Then intellect stands in awe before the supreme reality, yet still knowing that it is the essence of its true being, waiting to become articulate. Perhaps this is the real and true meaning of communion, something beyond prayer as ordinarily thought of, something which cannot be described but can be felt. God does speak to the heart more than to the intellect, and this is why it is that often you will find a person who apparently can give no reason for what he believes. He says, I know that God is there, all there is, and there is nothing else. But some inward, childlike faith, by some inward, childlike faith, his intellect has surrendered to that which is greater than he is, and the miracle takes place. One frequently meets such persons. It seems to the over-intellectual that they are entirely inadequate, and such simplicity might even be rejected as being incapable of fathoming the depths of reality. But their word is powerful because they listen with the heart. Through some unknown avenue, the heart reaches a depth that the intellect can penetrate only mathematically. Of course, it is well to combine the intellect and feeling and to use both the head and the heart, for the intellect gives a definite form to the feeling. But unless the feeling is there, the intellect will merely have provided the empty mold. It is interesting to know that the best psychological balance is the balance between the intellect and the emotions, the conscious mind and the feelings. We want not only to feel, but to think. We wish not only to think, but also to feel. Be certain, then, that in all your work, you combine this subtle essence with the conscious word you speak until the two become one. As a practitioner, which we all are, you will put these qualities together until they fuse into one. And then the head will speak through the heart, and the heart will feel through the intellect. This, we believe, is psychological wholeness. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Vicki. All right.
Vicki, would you write? What page is that?
Page 164.
Yep.
So, the 2020 Center for Spiritual Living's theme is spiritual vision. March theme is honoring the divine feminine in all. It's Women's Month, as they put it. And today's topic is the holy reimagined. We see the divine feminine beyond gender. It is the givingness of spirit to itself. We are holy. Life is holy. It, God, the universal mind, is holy. We walk on holy ground. Each of us are individualized expressions of this universal mind, God, the thing itself, it, whatever you call it. Would you agree? Would you agree? Ah, thank you. Now I want you all to stand up. Everybody stand up. And say together with meaning, I am holy.
I am holy.
Look at the person next to you. Look at them. Look at them and say, you are holy.
You are holy.
We are holy.
We are holy.
God is holy.
God is holy.
We walk on holy ground.
We walk on holy ground.
Thank you. You may be seated. That was your exercise for the morning. All right. So, after looking at this week's notes and also doing my own research on this topic, here are 3 aspects this morning that I'm going to emphasize during my talk. 1 is gendering, 2 is the divine feminine, and 3 is expression. So this first slide is a definition of gendering found in yourdictionary.com. And it says, to make gender-based distinctions within or among. Now, as religious scientists, what do we believe? What do we believe about God? Can someone tell me one thing that we believe about God as religious scientists? Anybody here in the room?
All one.
It's all one. What else? Come on.
It's infinite.
It's infinite. What else?
It's abundant.
It's abundant. What else?
Love.
It's love.
Creative.
It's creative. Yes, God is all that there is. God is all magnificent. God is nurturing. God is love. God is prosperity. Good job. Now, here are 2 quotes that I found in the SOM text that resonated with me, and I want to read these to you. It says, absolute, the God principle, the supreme, the unknowable, unthinkable, unmanifest, yet manifest in all, the unconditional, yet in every condition, that which is back of all, that is manifested in all universes, known and unknown to man, that which is all life, all power, the formless, which is all form, the changeless, which includes all change, the infinite life principle, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, the great self-existing cause back of all there is. The next slide, please. There is but one mind. It is all that there is. Everything visible and invisible is but a manifestation of this one mind. The result of its creative action and the becoming of that which it creates. I just wanted to add that to your consciousness concerning what the divine is. Thank you. So I was reading a book that was from the Stella Publishing Company, and it referred to energy as being omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, just like the God being spelled with a capital G. So when I put this all together with what religious scientists believe, I see the God of my understanding as an energy, of a vibrational force, just as we are an energy, just as we are a vibrational force, and just as we are one with it and each other and all of humanity. It's a vibration. We're all vibrations. We're light energy. That, in my estimation, for me, is the understanding of my God. Now, each of us defines and characterizes it with a capital I, and personalizes it in our own way. And we do this for our own understanding from our experiences, so that we can become more comfortable with it and what we understand about it. You follow me so far? All right, good. So there are many, many people who genderize. Now that's a Rev Ed word. Genderize. I didn't see that in the dictionary anywhere. So but many people genderize God. Now I've heard it called and referred to as him, as her, as goddess, as mother, father, etc. And I understand why people do it, but, that's a personal choice. But that's what I noticed going along and talking to different people. So, for me, as I go along my journey, I am more and more relating to an understanding that the God, the universal mind, really is an energy that is in, through, and as everything in existence. My opinion. So now I want to bring your attention to traits, actions, and qualities of individuals. So think of yourself as I am talking about these. Here's what I see, and here's what I have experienced at different times from different experiences and people. Gentleness, empathy, compassion, assertiveness, nurturing and support, tenderness, independence, sensitivity. These are just to mention a few. And over again, what I have seen, people traditionally genderizes these actions and qualities as either being feminine and or masculine. And it's in this genderizing or characterization that I feel possibly, very possibly, get this now, sets the stage for confines, limitation, and stifling. Stifling for individuals as they show up in their expressions, in their own unique, individualized expressions of this universal mind. All of these mentioned qualities and traits, I know that each and every one of you have. We all have these. Remember, we are all one, and because of who and whose we are, people, we have these, which are the qualities of the divine. Those are our qualities also. These are in our makeup. They're in our makeup. They're our foundation. And we experience and bring forth all of these different times, all of these different qualities and actions as we go along. We bring forth that. Now again, the important thing to remember is it's who we are. It's our makeup. It's our makeup. It's at the core of our being. And again, when these are categorized, I really feel it does limit or curtail the way we show up in expression. And I've said it before because it's important to remember. And why do you feel, or does anybody feel that, and why do you think that's so? Why does it limit it? Does anybody have an idea? Why does it limit you? If you might feel that some of the generalizations do limit you. Why does it limit you? Very good. Yes.
Introduces fear.
Introduces
Your ideals differ from that persona.
that persona, or that's right.
Step outside of what you're supposed to be like as a woman or as a man.
Yes, because at times we could feel that we must fit into that specific gender role, fit into a certain way of being.
Fear of judgment.
Fear, judgment. And you know, for your own for your information, even me just stating what I've just said, when I say that, it brings about for me feelings of heaviness, feelings of being boxed in or molded, and it really doesn't sit well with me because of what I've experienced and put upon myself, the confines and the limitations years ago. And I'm going to get back to that later in my talk. Okay? I really believe it behooves each and every one of us to remember that the divine feminine is an energy. It's a power. It's an attribute of God. The God energy. The God energy. And it is not a gender. And that also applies to the divine masculine. The divine masculine is an energy. It's a power. It's an attribute of God. It is not a gender. So when one views God as man, we lose sight of all that God is. The feminine aspects of God slips away from our awareness. And vice versa, when we view God as a woman, what do we lose sight of? All that God is. That masculine aspect of God slips away from our awareness. So when we associate the masculine and feminine energies as specific to male and female genders, it limits our belief of who we are and what we're becoming. That's important. I believe it limits our belief of who we are and what we're becoming. Remember, each of us holds, and all of us hold all of the potential and power of this universal mind. Now, why do you think that? Does anybody think that? What can you add to that? Anybody here? Why does anyone feel that we have and hold the potential and power of the divine within? Why? Why? Is that?
We are of the divine.
Yes, because we are of the divine and we're all individual expressions of the one with it, of it. It is who we are, and it is our inherent birthright. Don't forget this. It's our inherent birthright. We are one with it, made in its image and likeness. And we experience it to the extent of our understanding. And like I've said to many of you before, people, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is our life. Live it to the fullest expression each and every one of you are here to be, as expressing the divine so that we all can see this beautiful energy and get to know it more through each and every one's individualized expression. Okay? So you see, God is androgynous. That energy is androgynous, having both feminine and masculine energy, power, and abilities. And I so understand why we do it, because it's coming from our experiences here in this form. Does that make sense? Okay. So, remember, as beings of light, we accept the nature of God as divine and as ours. As ours. So here is a slide, again, from Science of Mind, Repression and Sublimation, the Spirit of Sex. Life is androgynous. Example, it contains within itself both the masculine and the feminine factors. The male and the female of creation come from one principle. All come from the one, capital O, and all will return to the one. All are now in the one and will forever remain in the one. Thank you. So expression. Each and every one of us are here to be that unique, individualized expression of the divine, of the universal mind. And the key words to remember is unique, individualized expressions. So, you see, the more one uniquely expresses the divine, as I said earlier, the more we get to understand ourselves and this energy that bears so many names. Each of us are great. Aren't we? Are we? Aren't we?
Yes.
Each of us are great. I'm glad you feel that, because I know that about each and every one of you. You are all great. We are all great. How could we not if we're made in the image and likeness of this energy that is so magnificent? Okay? So, I'm going to show you some slides. Or Rev G's going to kind of click it through. He's going to do that for me. And I just want you to go within as you're seeing this and see what messages might come from this. That's all I will say about this. Okay? Carpenters, I'll say that. Go ahead, Rev G. Pay attention to it. Teacher. Hairdresser. Boxer. Airplane pilots. Doctor. Oh, we know her. We know her. Practitioner. Liza. Okay. So, that says something to me. Why I put that up there, years ago, there were periods when people were really hesitant to follow what they wanted to be or do and show up, I feel, because of genderization. Years ago, a man was never considered someone to be a teacher. It was always women. Hairdressers years ago, it was women. A man would never be a hairdresser. Okay? What about carpenters? A woman would not be a carpenter. That was a man's job. So with airplane pilots, it was a man's job, not a woman's job, etc. It's the same thing with doctors. If you remember the gun smoke and everything, there was always a man doctor. You really never saw a woman doctor because back then, heaven forbid, a woman wouldn't do that. So I believe that's all because of genderization. That's my opinion. So not showing up, the importance of this is not showing up and being the expression that they wanted to be is very restricting, very confining, and very stifling. Now, remember I said I'd get back to something that, in relation to me. Well, not that many years ago, when I was in middle school, okay, only a few years ago. No, when I was in middle school, I remember this very, very clearly. Each home room had a decorating committee. You would decorate the home room. Now, you might relate to that because you were a teacher, right? Okay. Now, I really wanted to be on that decorating committee, but I was hesitant because there was no other boys on the committee. So guess what? Rev Ed didn't do that. You see, I stifled my unique expression of the divine as a homeroom decorator. As that energy, expressing itself as a homeroom decorator. There was so much talent, so much creativity and so much passion, I feel, that has been stifled through the times due to genderization. I really do. So today, as time goes on, I feel that genderization doesn't have the confines that it did years ago, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Where you will see more and more people being authentic, being more upfront within themselves in relation to who they are and who they want to show up as. You know, today we have what you saw in those slides. People actually shining their light how they want to shine their light. And as we know, as religious scientists, when one is authentic regarding all aspects of their journey, that is the avenue for one to experience the magnificence of the divine here in life. Being a full expression, being fully authentic is so powerful, and I think so beautiful to see as I go along my life in this journey. I love when I see individual lights shining. I love when I see pink hair, purple hair, green hair, as an example. I love when people can be who they are and not be afraid to shine who they really are. Now, I was watching the celebration of life for Kobe Bryant. Did any of you see that? Well, there was a woman, a young basketball player. She was an adult. She was a young woman who plays basketball, who said this, and I so agree with what she said. She said, gender does not define race. I'm going to repeat that. Gender does not define greatness. And I'd like to add this to that statement. Living authentically does define greatness. That defines greatness. All right. Now here are some slides that to me are examples of people who have overcome challenges regarding themselves being authentic and letting their energy, be it either feminine or masculine, flow. And being proud of that energy that is who they are. So I'll tell you a little about each one. I'm sure you'll see. Billy Porter, tuxedo dress. Now talk about letting your energy shine. Who was Billy Porter? An American Broadway theater performer, singer, and actor. Just one little far out example. Bless his heart. RuPaul, the queen of drag queens. Hello. Now, so that show he had on, Reggie, what was the name?
Drag Race.
Drag Race. When that first went, I went, okay, I'm going to see a bunch of queens acting, you know, however, which is cool. But the more I watched that show, I give this man credit, how he brought a light to the real personalities behind all of the makeup, behind the wigs, real caring individuals. So I honor this man on what he has done and brought out in relation to consciousness for that group of people who are very brave, very brave. There are any time you can be who you are, and when it might be a little different than what is expected, it takes courage. Next one, Chaz Bono.
Both of them, actually.
Yeah, an American advocate, writer, and musician. Done some wonderful things. Okay? And lastly, a religious science minister. And the people who were at the convention met Reverend Raph Ellis. He is the spiritual leader at Sierra Center for Spiritual Living in California. Another transgendered person. The light that this man brings to the world, the uplifting energy, and the guidance he shares with his community is absolutely magnificent. Now imagine if these people didn't show who they really are because of genderization and what people would think. look what the world would be missing. So imagine how many people have done that in the past, okay? So I want to quote this from the notes from the week of this, for this talk. And I'm just going to read this to you. It said, bringing balance to our view of God enriches our lives. We have all experienced times when our growth and good comes to us through our masculine qualities, actively asserting our attentions into the world, and at other times by our feminine quality of being open, receptive, and nurturing. The divine feminine and sacred masculine flow through everyone. And to the extent we exercise both, our lives become richer, and we grow in our power to create ourselves and our world. So my call to each and every one of you this week is as follows. 4 of them. 1, reimagine the holy. You are one with it, and you are an expression of it. Number 2, if you so choose, view the divine as an energy, not a gender. Number 3, let all energies flow. All energies. The ones we define masculine and also the ones that we call the divine feminine. I said masculine, okay. And number 4, allow your energy, people, your light, to freely flow out of you. And each of you be and express the light that you authentically are. Love yourself and express yourself the way each and every one of you are. You are all magnificent. You are all unique. You are all needed to help lift the vibration of this entire humankind higher and higher. Be the light you are. I love you, and blessings to all of you. And so it is.
So it is.
Oh, so taking all that beautiful message in. If you are comfortable, you may close your eyes, sit back in your chairs, and feel the presence of the divine right here and right now. The purpose of this treatment is for me to know that each one here is a complete embodiment of the divine, of this universal energy. That they are a complete embodiment in knowingness, and that their spirit sings the song, I am what I am. Coming to this moment of pure grace and love, I know that there is only one divine energy, one divine source. It matters not what you call it. What matters is that you know that it is. It is God. It is vibration. It is the quantum field. It is the infinite mind. It is the great spirit. It is mother. It is father. It is God. This energy is all that is. It is the creator of all, seen and unseen. It is all power. It knows no time. It knows no space. And it knows everything. It is benevolent. It is forceful. It is loving. It is law. It creates. What if it designed to know itself even greater? It is God in all of its manifestations. It truly is a divine feminine and a divine masculine. It is all powerful, all present. It is life itself. It is life itself. Knowing that this is so, I know that I am of this source. I am of the divine. I am of the grand vibration that is life, that is potency, that is love. This energy, this vibration is love, and I am love. It is all it is, and it runs in and through and as me. Oh, my gift. Knowing that this is true for me, I know that this is true for each one sitting here in this sacred sanctuary this morning, and for all those on Facebook Live watching. That each one is a divine, individualized expression of God, of this source. Each one is spirit, being a human being. Each one is imbued and filled with all of the attributes of the divine. And knowing this is so, I claim for each one here, every attribute of the divine is of who they are, expressing uniquely and individually as themselves. And it is all one mind, and it is all one essence, and it is all one grand vibration, expressing individually as creative individualizations of this essence. Each one here is love. Each one here is peace. Each one here is grace. Each one here is energy. Each one here is assertiveness. Each one here is power. Each one here is compassion. Each one here is passion. Each one here is joy. Each one here is leadership. Each one here is humility. All of the attributes of the divine are in each of you. This divine pattern is flowing through you and expressing individually as each individual, right here and right now. And there is beauty, essence, and energy as each one embodies and knows in their head and their heart that they truly are spiritual beings first and primary, having a human experience, and that there is only joy in expressing who they are. There's courage in the expression of their individuality. Courage, knowing that only they can express the divine as just the way they are meant to express God. And this, each of their individual expressions adds vibrancy and life to their lives and to the lives of everyone that they touch, and to the work that they do, and to their beingness in the world, creating even greater wholeness and oneness. And this courage is of the heart. Courage is of the heart. Knowing that each one, right here and right now, is here to express themselves on this grand divine journey, this life, that only they can express. And that the courage needed to do that is always with them, always, constantly, because that is who they are. There is no separation from the divine. That they speak the words that they need to speak, do the actions that they need to do in the world, easily, effortlessly. That any appearance of doubt, any appearance of fear, Any appearance of distractions of what seems to be in the world is quickly and easily erased and dismissed and expelled into the nothingness from where it came. Because behind everything, in everything, there is only truth and there is only God. And with their uniqueness, with their expression of this uniqueness, that this truth is known and seen because each one here has the eyes and the heart of the divine, making this life fuller and richer and grander. This is the way life works. This is the way it is supposed to be. And what a beautiful life it is. Because God knows no fear. God knows no distraction. God knows nothing of itself except only what it is. And that is pure love. So each one today dances to their own beat, to their own drum, knowing that that is exactly what their divine calling is. And they do so with joy. This is who I am, and this is why I am here, and this is what I am doing. This is my divine calling, and I do it gladly, lovingly, joyfully, completely supported by the divine. And it's light like a feather. And it is beautiful, and I give gratitude that this is being expressed right here and right now in everyone here present, making this world a world that works for everyone. Thank you. My heart is filled with gratitude, and I release my powerful word into the law of cause and effect, the action of the law of cause and effect, knowing that it is done, it is complete, it is final, it is perfect, it is whole, it is beautiful. And I say amen, blessed be, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. So now it's time for our affirmation. If we could say this all together.
I am a being of love and light. Divine feminine energy flows through me, receiving and radiating love.
Let's say that once more, if you would.
I am a being of love and light. Divine feminine energy flows through me, receiving and radiating love.
And so it is.
And so it is.